Hey guys, I wanted to talk a little bit today about stamping. So I'm going to just start this video with a batch that I made, and I'm just going to chat as I work. I live in an area of agriculture, and my family and I are in farming, so we're surrounded by tiny little farm towns all around us. If I'm going to go and meet someone in a place I've never been before, even if it's in a tiny little farm town, I still need directions, and it still can be hard for me to find my way if I've never been there before. Someone who knows the way is going to say, "Oh, it's so easy, you can't miss it." But to me, it's a lot more tricky because I've never been there before. Stamping soap is a lot like that. When you've never done it before, it seems impossible. Like, I can't do this. I don't understand. It's not working for me. I'm doing it wrong. But the truth of it is, it just takes some time. And once you know your way through that tiny little farm town, or in this case, stamping soap, it gets a ton easier. I want to show you a couple things that I have learned in stamping soap. And despite how it appears, I did not get it right away. It took me a while to actually figure out how to stamp soap, and I know it seems fairly straightforward. And watching a video like this, you think, well, yeah, I can do that. But there are a few tricks. Number one, it does not matter what kind of stamp you are using. I have worked with acrylic and plastic and rubber and any kind of craft stamping. This stamp I'm using here is a plastic slide stamp. It works just as well as a craft stamp that you'd use for scrapbooking. I've truly found that the magic bullet with stamping soap is not what kind of stamp you use, but when and how you stamp. Play around with end pieces. We always have scrap soap. If you are making soap, I don't know how there is any way that you do not have scraps or end pieces. Those are phenomenal. You can practice with the thickness of soap because stamping a thick 1-inch bar of soap as opposed to a tiny little sliver, it's going to feel different. Using 99% rubbing alcohol and spritzing it on your stamp, not on the soap, on the stamp, and then hitting the stamp with a rubber mallet just like this, that helps to make a nice clean imprint. Instead of squishing the soap, it stamps it nice and firmly. Different recipes will also be ready to stamp at different times. For my all olive oil soaps, it takes me about a week for the soap to be firm enough to actually stamp. But for my standard recipe that uses about 50% solid oils, fats, and butters, that one is ready to stamp right away. In fact, if I don't stamp it right away, it gets too hard to stamp. Don't get discouraged because it's difficult. It was difficult for me too at first. And don't measure your beginning to somebody else's middle. Everyone's journey is going to be so different. But with time and practice, I promise you, you will get to where you want to go. It's not that it's necessarily easy, it's just you get better. Learning what works and what doesn't. You can try different angles for the stamp, like going horizontal, going vertical. Play around with it. And be sure to be true to what you like. What looks are appealing to you. This is your product that you're putting out there. I hope this was helpful. If you have any specific questions, please don't hesitate to reach out.